Hi guys, Chuck Brewer, Concrete Technologies. Today we're shooting another application video on a pool deck. What we've done so far is remove 90% of the existing coating. We still have some fine grinding to do. If you notice this white chalky substance on the deck, it's actually a chloride or an efflorescence being pushed up through the concrete by negative side hydrostatic pressure or moisture migration. We're actually going to have to use Acuron CPT 2000 on this deck. If you guys look at this shot of the pool going up towards the gate, you can see that this pool is far below grade. That's where this moisture migration is coming from, such as basements or anywhere the concrete is lower than the surrounding terrain. At this point, we've finished all of our grinding, we've rounded all the edges. It's time to acid etch and power wash. Then we're going to neutralize with ammonia and water. Because this concrete had a previous coating on it that was failing due to negative side hydrostatic pressure or moisture vapor transmission, we are treating it with the Acuron system. We're going to acid etch and power wash a little differently. We're actually going to soak the concrete down prior to our acid etch and power wash. Ryan's already got our acid and water solution put together. Just remember, it's 4 gallons of water, 1 gallon of muriatic acid when you're going to acid etch the decks. With our new crack weld system, we actually cut a groove. Unlike our previous system that we used to V-open, we now just make a 1/4 inch cut with a dry diamond blade. In your crack repair kit, you're going to get a static mixer, a lock nut, a backflow restrictor, which is located underneath this cap, and your 2 300 milliliter cartridges of crack weld. In addition to that, you're going to need some dry play sand to mix in with the crack weld. Anytime you're using crack injection systems and you've actually power washed the deck, you want to come back through with a torch and remove any moisture that could be there. By using a torch, it gets rid of the moisture. It also increases the temperature of the concrete, which makes your crack weld kick faster. We also have deco strips on this pool deck. You want to be cautious when using a torch because if you get too close or apply too much heat to the deco strips, you can damage them. After power washing yesterday, we actually found a few more cracks that we didn't get. So Ryan's going to go ahead and cut those cracks open this morning. We're going to do our crack injection system, and then we're going to proceed with the CPT 2000 on the deck. Try and keep it just down in there. Take this off, we're undoing the lock nut, pop the tip off, and we're going to pull this backflow restrictor out and pour a little material out. Now remember the anticoagulant I was talking about, there's some on my finger, it was around the threads, smear it around up here a little bit, and then put your caps back in. Again, it doesn't matter which side they go in because the anticoagulant's going to stop it from kicking. Use the rest of this on your next job. All right, the crack weld's been down for about 20 minutes. Ryan's gonna go ahead and vacuum grind this area to get all this excess off each side, so the only place that we have crack weld is in the cut. We just finished the application of the Acuron CPT 2000. We didn't show the application because I want you guys to contact Acuron Corporation directly for application of their product. We'll put a link at the end of this video. Okay, now that we've injected these cracks and ground them smooth, it's time for the application of the Smart Prep and Mesh. We're going to go ahead and wet this area up over the top of the crack, put down our Smart Prep Mesh, and then coat it again. When you're using your Smart Prep and Mesh, you're going to have to do overlaps You want to make sure that overlap is at least 1 inch when you're putting it down. We've got the mesh in the Smart Prep, pushed down tight with a putty knife. Our next step is to make sure the mesh is saturated, so we're going to put another coat of Smart Prep over the top of the mesh. Once your Smart Prep and mesh is down, it needs to be dry for at least 8 hours. We recommend just leaving it overnight and applying your skim coat the next day. All right guys, we've waited the allotted time limit for the Acuron CPT 2000. What we've done up to this point is repapered the pool. We've tied back all the vegetation with 3/4 inch filament tape to get it out of the way, so when we're spraying, especially when we're highlighting, that we don't have anything blocking the spray that's coming down, creating a shadow on the deck. Starting out with the deco strips. We've taped over the deco strips with 1/2 inch filament tape to protect them. You want to make sure that you protect all the deco strips and deco drains if they have them. It's best not to try and cover the entire pool. We're going to have a professional pool company come in when we're done and clean the pool. It's time to mix up our skim coat. With it being 85, 90 degrees today, we're going to mix 5.5 to 6.5 quarts of modifier to get this product to flow. We've got our colorant, our grout, our modifier, and our measuring cups. We're ready to go. We're skimming in white, so we're going to add 1 cup of the 190 colorant to a bag of grout. All right, we've got our bucket of skim coat in our easy pour. We're going to roll it around the deck. Ryan's going to prime out an area, and we're going to use our speed trials to start applying our skim coat. You guys, that easy pour is just another tool to make your job easier. If you notice, Ryan hasn't had to pick that bucket up and carry that weight of 65 pounds across this deck while we're working. He's just rolling it and pouring what I need. Awesome piece of equipment. Earlier today, we talked about covering the deco strips with a 1/2 inch filament tape to protect them. Once we've done our first skim coat and it's dry, we want to pull this filament tape rather than leave it overnight. You'll notice we're getting some chipping along the edge. You don't want that to happen on your finished job. So you want to pull the tape, retape it before we do our spray system. We protected the skimmer cover with blue tape, just like the deco strips. When we pulled the tape off, you can see some of the chipping along the edge. It's going to do that around the skimmer plate. So we want to pop that off and make sure it's clean. Then we'll recover it before we do our spray system. We're going to be shooting this pool deck today in a Hallmark system. We've already skim coated the deck in white. We're going to be spraying it 100% sandstone, and then we're going to highlight it with white, desert beige, and chocolate. Yeah. 105 grout, 112 modifier. We're going to add a cup of sandstone. Always remember, when you're mixing up your spray material, you need to scrape the sides of the bucket with a margin trowel to get off that excess material so it doesn't clog your hopper gun. Adjust your air pressure. Take a test shot in your bucket. After the rain last night, Ryan and I came out this morning, got to the job site, everything was dry. We ran rub bricks over the top and everything survived, so we're in good shape for the day. We do have some high winds, but we're still gonna highlight. We're gonna highlight with white, desert beige, and chocolate. And now we're going to put on our last dark highlight, which is chocolate, and we'll come back with a light fleck of sandstone. And now we're going to apply our last highlight of sandstone just to even any areas out that might have got too much chocolate or too much desert beige. Ryan and I are going to go ahead and stiff bristle broom the deck to make sure we got off all that loose debris. We're going to use a gas blower to follow it up with. Anytime you use any gas equipment around our product, you want to make sure you're not running it too rich. If you do, you're going to get 2-cycle oil dripping onto your deck. We put another layer of blue tape around the tile coping to protect it, so when we're rolling, we don't get any drips onto the tile. The CTI Hallmark system, clean, simple, and attractive. Use the steps in this video to keep you doing the job right.